thedailymass.com. Experience the Roman Catholic Mass from historic St. Louis Cathedral every day on thedailymass.com. His love, anywhere in the world.
Good evening, I'm Sarah McDonald.
And I'm Jason Angela. Welcome to Issues and Faith.
Well, we want to wish everyone a blessed Advent.
Yes, beautiful Advent here.
And welcome a new addition to the Angelette family.
Yes, indeed. On the first day of Advent, December 1st, Elise went into labor, went to the hospital, and at 4:31 p.m., we welcomed Nora Catherine to the family. Well, we welcomed her already, but now we got to see her face, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so what are the specs, weight?
So we have 6 pounds, 6.5 ounces, so very small, tiny little baby on the Angelette side of babies, although we were all pretty small. But the family's doing great, mommy's doing well, and the kids just, someone said that one of the best gifts you can give your children is another sibling, and they just love this new baby. They're always wanting to hold the baby, they're wanting to have their turn, just loving all over it, and it's awesome to see the family growing and the family just being blessed, and it's awesome.
Right, I know one of the best things that I have at the end of the day, or even first thing in the morning, is watching Nathan and Eloise interact. Yeah. And speaking of families growing, we're going to have another baby.
Yay!
So
praise God, that's
there
awesome.
is a new McDonald's due June 1st.
Fantastic.
So our third little blessing is on his or her way.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Babies everywhere.
It's awesome. Life is good. Children are a blessing, and we got to remember that. So how's the family respond? How the little ones take it?
Everybody's so excited.
Nathan?
Well, I mean, Eloise is,
of course, she did.
But Nathan is very excited. He runs around telling everybody, "There's a baby in my mommy's tummy." He told all the teachers at school. I walked in even before we had told really anybody. All the teachers at his preschool knew there was a baby because there was a baby in my mommy's tummy, and they were all looking at him going, "No, there's not. Your mommy just had a baby."
Right.
So,
like, I don't understand.
But yeah, no, we are very, very excited.
Praise God. Well, congratulations to y'all, and keep us posted on how things go. Keep y'all in our prayers.
And of course, and keep sending those pictures of those beautiful babies and sharing those, all 5, Bella, Sophia, Jude, Naomi, and now Nora. I love seeing them, and it's so much fun.
Awesome. Well, as we've mentioned, we are in the season of Advent, and joining us tonight is Miss Alice Hughes of the Archdiocesan Office of Religious Education to talk about how we can observe Advent in our homes and families.
Thank you so much, Alice, for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me.
And our coordinating purple for the Advent season. We're very liturgically appropriate.
Very nice together.
Well, it's so important as we are in this year of family and faith that has been extended that we focus on the real season of Advent that we're in. It's so easy to get caught up in Christmas. I know I'm guilty of it with my little ones as well. But to really focus on what Advent means in the church. Tell us a little bit about that first.
Thank you, Sarah. And you're right. There's so much commercialism now at Christmas time that you forget that there is a pre-Christmas time called Advent. I love what Archbishop Amen said yesterday. We had a blessing in the Archdiocese on Walmsley for our Advent wreath and our Jesse tree. And he said there was Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and he says, but you didn't hear anything about Advent Sunday.
That's right.
And it's an awesome time in the church because it's that time for waiting, and it comes from the Latin word to come. So it's that anticipation of what's to come. It's the second coming of Jesus, whether it's at the end of the time or the end of our own physical time. But it's that time just to wait and just to be. The Israelites waited many centuries for the Messiah to come. And sometimes we don't like to anticipate. We're a fast.
We are a society of instant gratification.
We are, and we don't want to wait. And this is a wonderful time just to sit and, as the psalmist says, be still and know that I am God. And there are many ways as a family to be able to do this.
That's right. And if we think it's hard for some of us adults to wait, it's even harder for children. But there are some theologically sound ways to do that. I mean, obviously the Advent wreath is very common. You see it in church, but there are other things that you can do with children specifically to incorporate the season of Advent and observe Advent in your home. Tell us a little bit about that.
One of the best ways is the Jesse tree. Everybody likes, you got Ancestry.com.
That's right.
And people like to know, from where does my family come? You like family trees. Well, this is Jesus's family tree. And it takes Old Testament, and it takes the New Testament, and it takes dominant people in Jesus's lineage from the Old Testament, and references that Jesus himself made in the New Testament to Old Testament prophecies. So you take these little ornaments, and as a family, and I'll use you as an example, because Nathan's almost 3.
Almost.
And you can make these ornaments, and you can get them online. You can buy them, which we did for the Archdiocese, because it was a lot easier to buy them and to make them. When you have a family, this is a wonderful family event to do for Advent, where you participate, where you anticipate it, and you get materials together. You get their little circles, or little ornaments, and you cut them out. The children can color them, and there's a scripture reference that goes with each one. And every day during Advent, you put a different ornament on the tree. And this way, you have an Advent tree and not a Christmas tree. So the children are anticipating Christmas coming. And then at the end, on the last day, on Christmas Eve, what you can do is decorate for Christmas. So you're still decorating for Christmas when Christmas comes. People forget Christmas season begins on the first Vespers of Christmas Eve, and is over after the baptism of the Lord. So you got all this nice time to still have Christmas decorations on. The idea of doing it at the Chancery came from our Family and Faith Life Committee. And at that time we said, what can we do for the families for Advent? And I said, well, it'd be nice to do a Jesse tree here so we can model.
Right.
And what I did this year is send out to all of our parish catechetical leaders and school catechetical leaders, I sent out a packet, which I do every year for Advent. But this year what I included in there were suggestions on how to do a Jesse tree. I even sent a sample of a Jesse tree ornaments that they could make with the children in religious education, or that they could give out, which I was hoping that they'd give out to their families to do, so families can do that together.
But the schools are leading by example. If they were to create the Jesse tree in their own classrooms or in their parish schools of religion, so that the kids can get that excitement and take it home to their families. And that's so important as well, family sharing faith.
Yes. And when they go to school, or they go into church, or in our case, you come into Walmsley, you have no doubt it's Advent. It's not Christmas, it's Advent. It's that time of waiting. Another thing to do with families with children is your Advent calendar. The Jesse tree is very similar to an Advent calendar, because it's something you put on every day. So it's not yet, but almost. I think you did
We're doing an Advent calendar. We started it last year. We're doing an Advent calendar again this year, and it's a really nice one. We actually found it at Barnes & Noble, and this year actually worked out really well, because so often you see things labeled Advent calendars, and they're really countdown to Christmas calendars. Since Advent actually started on December 1st this year, you actually have the 25 days of December leading, or the 24 days of December leading into Christmas Day. But it's they're not hard to find. No, we went through a phase a couple of years where it was hard to find scripturally based Advent calendars, but now they are becoming more popular. Like I said, I found mine at Barnes & Noble. You can find them in children's bookstores that are scripturally based, and that's what's important. You don't want, I love Santa Claus. I think he's wonderful, and of course, he will be visiting our house this year. But making sure that we're really focused on Christ as being the reason for the season and what this all means. And the elf that's on the shelf at our house reports to Santa, but Santa reports to Jesus.
Oh, good.
For Nathan. We're trying to incorporate that as well.
And that's taking that idea of the Jesse tree also, because of using the scriptural references, because when you use a scriptural reference, you're getting salvation history. You're getting the history of our family and the eyes of God, God's redemptive love coming down to us. And that's why, even if you have a creche at home, Jesus shouldn't be in there yet until Christmas, because it's not Jesus' birthday yet. But I think also that emphasis that it's not Jesus being born right now. Jesus has already been born and is fully, and we believe in our tradition, fully alive. But it's that anticipation of his coming back to us, and I think that in today's society, it's so very, very important to keep focus on, why do we have Christmas? It's not happy holidays.
That's right.
It's Merry Christmas. And I myself personally, I'll always tell when I'm out shopping this time of year and people say Happy Holidays to me like a store clerk, I'll always say Merry Christmas. Because that is, Jesus is the reason for the season, like you said, and anything that we can do to focus on that, and Advent calendars or the Jesse tree, the Advent wreath, and with the Advent wreath when you're doing it with the children, don't get one that's already made. Make it yourself, because you can, the circle, God's unending love, the evergreen, God's love never changes, the 4 candles, the time of anticipation when the Israelites were in the desert going to the promised land, the days that Jesus was in the desert, the 40 days that Jesus was in the desert. So it's all so scriptural, but anything that you can do that hands-on, manipulative for children to understand, and not just the children, it's the adults also to understand it. It was a learning experience on Walmsley. I sent out a whole packet before we did it. I sent out a couple of weeks ago giving the history of the Jesse tree and giving scriptural references so people will understand it, because it's something that we've lost, and it's wonderful to try to regain this.
And if you're working on the Jesse tree and then you bring your children to Christmas Eve Mass, that Gospel of Matthew that they read will make a whole lot more sense.
Because that's how the Jesse tree ends, with a birth.
That's right. Well, Alice, thank you so much. I know we want to talk quickly, very, very quickly. Hoffinger is coming up right after Christmas. What are the dates?
The dates are January the 9th through the 11th.
Okay, and people can sign up online now.
They can sign up online at www.hoffinger.com, and you can access it through our website also, which you can get to our
Archdiocese website.
Yes.
Great. Well, Alice, thank you so much for being with us and for sharing this information with all of our families, our parents and grandparents that are watching, so they can share it with their children.
And happy Advent.
That's right. You can learn more about how to incorporate these Advent traditions into your observance by following the Archdiocese of New Orleans on Pinterest, where we have an entire board dedicated to family and faith Advent activities. And we'll be right back.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. The heart of Woman's New Life Center is its outreach to women in unplanned pregnancies, especially those who are seeking an abortion. Our professional counseling services, combined with free ultrasound tests, provide each woman with the nurturing she needs, while also revealing her unborn child to her. For more information about the life-saving work of Woman's New Life Center, call 504-831-3117 or visit womansnewlife.com.
It's happening in schools and schoolyards. A timeless tradition is rekindled with every new class, in every new face. In Louisiana Catholic schools, learning goes beyond textbooks and testing. Students are embracing faith, values, leadership skills, and of course, a classic history of academic excellence. Invest in success. Louisiana Catholic Schools, a class of their own.
We're local and enlightening. WLAE, New Orleans Public Television.
As we observe Advent and prepare for Christmas, Catholic Charities Archdiocese of New Orleans is offering a way for you to make a gift that makes a difference the holiday season with their holiday wish list. Joining us tonight to talk about the wish list and other Catholic Charities activities are Catholic Charities Director of Development, Helen Reed Young, and Associate Director of Development, Aaron Bowles. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm, that is.
Thank y'all so much for being with us.
Y'all
are doing a great job with all that y'all are doing. So tell us about a little bit, let's go take a step back. Catholic Charities, tell us a little backdrop on that.
Good. So Catholic Charities actually traces its roots back about 300 years, almost 300 years, to the arrival of the Ursuline nuns. Mm-hmm. And from there, 300 years later, Catholic Charities serves the 8 civil parishes of the Archdiocese of New Orleans. And we serve the poor and vulnerable, the most poor and vulnerable population in our community, and while respecting the dignity of each life.
I was listening just recently to a CD on Matthew Kellen. He was just saying the Catholic Church feeds more people, houses more people, educates more people. I mean, all these things. We've got a wonderful church, and the Catholic Charities New Orleans been doing so much for so long. And so thank y'all again. Want to thank y'all for contributing to that great effort as we move forward into the days. So tell us about, we have an upcoming program, Advent's Here Wish List.
Yes, we're very excited about it. This year we have done a lot of research and prep work to get us to where we are, and we're trying to broaden our scope by reaching out to Catholics and all members of the New Orleans community through online resources, we're trying to reach out to them more through social media, and we wanted to offer them a way to contribute to these wonderful programs, but we also wanted to offer them a platform, or have a platform to better expose the work that we're doing to the broader community. A lot of times we hear, people know what Catholic Charities is, but they don't know a lot about the programs, or they'll know about one of our programs, but they won't realize that it's a part of Catholic Charities. And so we launched a crowdfunding campaign earlier this fall to help us to raise funds for the gap that we had for Head Start with the sequestration cuts. But the great part about that was that it was more of an education. There was a big educational component to it, just educating the community about what Head Start is, why it's important to the nation as a whole, how many children we serve in the greater New Orleans area, and what it means to them, and why it's an important part of our faith in action. And so our next phase of this is a holiday marketplace. We launched it on Giving Tuesday, and our hope again is that we not only raise funds that we need for these programs, but that we educate a lot of the younger Catholics out there and people in general about some of these programs and why they're so vital to the community. Specifically,
what are those programs?
So we've chosen 4 specific programmatic areas, and then the area of greatest need, which is always important. But those areas are Access, our pro-life services, also youth education services, which includes Summer Witness as well as Head Start. Summer Witness is a summer camp for kids, but it also includes a curriculum with a values-based curriculum, as well as some fun activities. So Head Start is a program that prepares young children, preschool children, for kindergarten and preschool. But we can take them as early as 6 weeks, and then we get them prepared so that when they're ready to go to kindergarten, they're ready. So we've got that. Cornerstone Builders, that works with formerly incarcerated individuals in terms of reintroducing them to society and reducing the recidivism that can occur. Project Save, that addresses or helps survivors of domestic violence. And then area of greatest need, which is a very general area, but it's an important area because unrestricted funds give us the most flexibility and allow us in some cases to provide a match for federally funded programs, but also to have flexibility to meet gaps in other programs that may need funding and can't get it in another way.
Yeah, no, I mean, so many beautiful programs that y'all have to be able to help out people in so many specific ways. And I know that sometimes too, whenever there's something that's unique that pops up, or there's something that maybe more attention needs to be paid in that direction, those unrestricted funds help to give that. So those who are donating, to encourage them, if there's something that's close to your heart, please contribute, but also to those unrestricted funds help out to give y'all the flexibility to do a lot more when the need is even greater.
Exactly.
So tell us, what is the overarching goal of this great work?
Well, I think, again, it's twofold. We'd like to raise $1,500 for each of the programs that Helen mentioned, and then some for the area of greatest need. Last year we served over 100,000 families, so a little bit goes a long way. Yeah. And then it's to further engage the Catholic community in a way that we as a nation are facing. I think a lot of people think that young people are the only folks online, but the reality is that the baby boomers, I think it's like close to 60% of them are banking online now, and people are becoming more comfortable, or there's more comfort there with online transactions. So I just think it's smart of us and the Archdiocese as a whole to kind of get ahead of this or be on the wave of it.
Awesome. So again, how can someone find out more information and get started?
So the easiest would be to go to our website, which is ccano.org. And so that would be the easiest and fastest. We certainly have been promoting it via Facebook and Twitter. Yes. If you've got a Facebook account. You can like us on Facebook, be our friend.
Awesome.
And then we've got a Twitter account as well. So those are ways. And then you can call us. I mean, that would be another way to is to call Catholic Charities and to reach out to the development office, and we can certainly work one-on-one with the donor that may have questions or want to be a part of this.
Yeah, there's so many ways of being able to pass on the information, and like going on Facebook, liking, and then sharing the things that y'all are doing, let other people know about what's happening, because I think that there is such a wonderful work that y'all are doing, and there's so much out there, and if people could find out more what y'all are doing and contribute and help out, we can just help out so many more people. So
Yes, definitely.
I want to thank y'all again for being with us and all that y'all the work that y'all are doing. Please keep us posted, and God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Again, you can learn more about the Catholic Charities wish list online at ccano.org. And this week, we are happy to announce that Catholic Charities has raised over $1 million towards its $1.965 million goal for the Archbishop Hannon Community Appeal. Thank you to all of you who helped pledge your support. And we'll be right back.
The grief and loss resulting from an abortion can be overwhelming. Many women and men need a safe place to heal. The Woman's New Life Center is that place. We treat each woman and man with the utmost respect and dignity. We offer individual counseling and referrals to post-abortion retreats that offer a psychological and spiritual approach to healing. Call 504-831-3117 or visit womansnewlife.com. We're local and enlightening. WLAE, New Orleans Public Television.
What will the world ask of them? Whatever it is, they'll be prepared to answer. Because in a safe and disciplined environment, Louisiana Catholic schools shape tomorrow's leaders. Catholic students are rising. 99% graduate. Almost all go to college. They'll earn higher wages, be community involved, more tolerant of diverse views. And the world will be better because of them. Louisiana Catholic schools, in a class of their own.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Cox Channel 14, Charter Channel 11 and 711, AT&T Channel 32 and 1032, Dish TV, Direct TV, and over-the-air broadcast on Channel 32.
You know how sometimes you find a place or room where your voice just sounds a lot better than normal? The acoustics are great, and just for a second, you think you could have been the lead singer in the band. Well, a group of girls from 3 Catholic high schools got to sing in a place where the acoustics are wonderful and the music is heavenly. Janet Gross takes us to a concert that combines hearts, souls, and voices.
The storm is passing over, hallelujah.
On their own, they sound incredible. The chorales of St. Mary's Dominican, Mount Carmel, and Chappelle.
We do all of our concerts in our school gym, so what a treat to come here and sing and just have the greatest acoustics in the city.
Even they are amazed at the way they sound in St. Louis Cathedral.
We just normally sing how we would sing like in our classroom, and then it just echoes out. It sounds like our choir times 3. It's a lot more powerful and louder.
Honestly, in layman's terms, it just sounds like a bunch of beautiful angels. It's just very, very beautiful.
It's absolutely incredible. There's no words to describe the power and the sound that we all have together.
Sometimes in a big cathedral like this, the consonants will get lost, so we really have to articulate really well, and then the acoustics do the work for us almost.
It changes the music. It has a lot more meaning, because when you're in this type of venue where you're singing something that is sacred, when you're singing in a gym, it's like, okay, you sing in an auditorium, okay, but you come into the cathedral and it's like, wow.
Coming together like this is not a regular occurrence. These schools are usually rivals.
I guess. We're not very used to the interaction, but it is nice to interact with them and sort of intermingle because we're really supposed to be at each other's throats. So it's nice to come together.
See, here at each other's throats, or actually with each other's throats, it works out beautifully. There wasn't much practice time together, just a little bit right before this concert that amazed audience and singers. I'm Jenna Gross for Issues and Faith.
While they were unable to hold the concert last year because of Isaac, the three schools hope the Voices in Unison concert will continue as an annual event.
And if you have a question for us or an idea that you'd like to see on air, please write to us at Issues in Faith, 3330 North Causeway Boulevard, Suite 345, Metairie, Louisiana, 70002, or you can email us at questions@wlee.com. Plus, if you missed an episode, you can catch up online at www.archdiocese-no.org.
And that's our program for this evening. For all of us at Issues in Faith, thanks for watching.
And we'll be back next week. I hope you join us again soon. Until then, God bless.